365 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in December, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep the clubs out year-round. Book your holiday parties at Double Eagle Golf and make plans to join them for a New Year's Eve party. Gift cards make a great stocking stuffer for Christmas, and don't forget to look ahead to 2025 as spring leagues begin in February. That's all at Double Eagle Golf, inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Experience a cleaner tomorrow with Niederhaus Refuse. Whether it's weekly residential pickups, large-scale commercial disposals, recycling, or roll-off, Niederhaus's team is here with reliable, efficient service and the most advanced solutions. Discover the difference that a committed and experienced waste management company can make. Niederhaus Refuse has been in business for over 100 years and is family-owned and operated since 1921. Call Niederhaus Refuse at 402-475-8361 and visit their website at nbrefuselincoln.com to learn more or sign up for your service today.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations, now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? That feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios on O Street.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group, trial attorneys you can trust.
On the farm from dawn till dusk, hardworking hands tend to the land, equipment, and the animals. But your hard work deserves a little relaxation too. Visit the Nebraska Ag Expo, December 10th through the 12th at Sand Hills Global Event Center in Lincoln. See all the latest ag innovations in livestock and equipment, precision ag, drone, and AI tech, crop inputs, grain storage, and more. Take a break from the daily grind and recharge at the Nebraska Ag Expo. You deserve it. Sponsored in part by Farm Credit Services of America and Ag Direct.
It's that magical time of year, but amidst the festivities, you should celebrate your health too. With all the delicious treats and holiday cheer, it's easy to let healthy habits slip. But just a few simple choices can help you enjoy the season without the stress of extra pounds. Make time for physical activity, eat in moderation, and focus on your well-being. Search Chronic Disease Nebraska to learn more. Paid for by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
The holiday season is here, and Sartor Heyman is making your shopping easy. Shop our wide selection of necklaces, earrings, or bracelets to our amazing line of watches. Looking for something truly unique? Consider our estate jewelry, or even build your own custom handcrafted piece with our in-house designers. The perfect gift at the perfect price. Christmas memories start with family and Sartor Heyman.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everidge. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Nothing happened over the weekend. There's nothing to talk about. We're just going to sit here in silence, right, Jake?
I think so.
Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Adam Carriker Show, noon to 1 p.m. Central Time, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Come grab your lunch. Join yours truly. Also on Wednesdays, join Steve Taylor, noon to 1 p.m. Central Time, 5 days a week here on the Ticket. This particular show is going to give you unique insights, unbridled honesty, and producer Jake and I are going to have a whole lot of fun in the process today. All right. Matt Rhule talked about, hey, in his last press conference, basically we're on track. I'm 6-6 year 2. And then we make the leap in year 3. Like, when I heard him say that, I was like, love the confidence. I don't know that needs to be said, but I love the confidence. And then, obviously, we have insanity right now with Tony White gone and Terrence Knighton gone and yada, yada, yada. Okay. Now, it's also a part of college football. It is what it is. It's like the wild freaking West. So it's not just Nebraska. And up until today, we haven't had a chance to see the other side of the transfer portal, where they come join the good guys. So hopefully that news starts coming in sooner rather than later. So we're going to give some transfer portal updates. By the way, 2 of the top 10 rated players in the transfer portal are former Huskers, but I digress. Emmett Johnson is back. Actually spoke with him last night and this morning. All right. He officially put his pads back in the locker room, officially worked out. All right. I did interview him. Go check that out. CarrikerChronicles.com. Also on YouTube at Carriker Chronicles. Okay. Now, and he's excited to be back. So you never know who might be in the portal from Nebraska that might come back. There's a couple other things as well. So I've been asked a lot, Adam, like, do you trust Matt Rhule? Do you trust him? Do you trust Matt Rhule? We're going to discuss that here briefly in this first segment. Transfer portal updates. The second segment, I might be a little crazy to think that Nebraska's offense might be dynamic and explosive next year. Did I just say that out loud with a straight face? I did. I don't know what to make of the defense or the special teams or the offensive line, but the skill position guys seem to be something you could potentially get excited about with guys like Dylan and Jacory and Emmett now back on this roster with potential transfer portal additions that may happen. Okay, don't forget about Heinrich Harburg as well. What are they going to do with him? All right, but before we dive into that, Jake, trivia question. I'm not going to ask this of the fan. It's a hard question. And I didn't know. You guys got to follow at Husker Tapes on X. I didn't know the answer to this until I saw this. So, Jake, I expect you to know this.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
What year was Nebraska's first bowl game, and what was that bowl game?
I believe it's the 19. Oh, man, I'm going to be close here.
You're on track so far. 19 is the first 2 numbers. You nailed it.
1941 Gotham Bowl?
Ooh. 1962 Gotham Bowl was our first win versus Miami 36-24 up in New York. Okay, you got the first 2 numbers right.
I got something going on there.
Way earlier.
Okay.
And think Flowers. Oh, my God, that was a huge hint.
Rose Bowl?
Yes. You got to get the year, though, on your own. No help.
All right. Oh, man. I know I've seen it before as a Husker historian, but I can't remember.
You're a Husker historian?
Well, I mean...
Well, why don't you know this?
Well, that's why I'm not like labeled a Husker historian.
Okay.
I've looked at a lot of Husker history.
I got you.
Oh, man. You said way earlier?
Yes. Not 1800s. It's
1920.
Nope.
I don't know.
Too early. 1941 Rose Bowl.
1941.
And we did not win, so we won't dive too much into it. But I did not know that was our first bowl game. Was the Rose Bowl indeed. 21 years later before we got our first bowl game win. That's kind of crazy. Congratulations to Nebraska linebacker. Just signed with the Huskers last Wednesday. And Omaha West Side linebacker Christian Jones for winning the National High School Football Butkus Award. All right, and here we go. And I quote, Christian Jones is a disruptive force on the football field. He displays excellent instincts, strikes with power, and makes his impact felt in all phases of the game, end quote. That is per his defensive coordinator in high school. And Matt Satil on X said, big honor for a future black shirt. Bit of a prediction there for good old Matt. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Again, Matt, well, here's the exact quote. Before we dive into that, I got two other things. Okay. John Cook and the volleyball girls are having so much fun this year. He gave one particular volleyball player a little bit of a hard time, very publicly in a press conference about her serves. Did you see or hear this, Jake? Basically said it wasn't the toughest serve ever, but that it moves a lot. I guess if you're John Cook, you can do things like this. So if you go on TikTok, there's a video of him trying to receive this young lady's serves. He does not do so well. He was supposed to try 3 times. They only put one on the TikTok that I saw. Maybe there was more. Maybe I missed him. I don't know. I only saw the one. It did not go so well. So it's one of those things where I wondered, I was like, if Matt Rhule doesn't like what happens in an Oklahoma drill, does he then have to hop in and go against that lineman? Like, how would that go? I don't know. It's just kind of a crazy thought I had. And I love the volleyball team. It helps if you're winning. Is having so much fun this year. If you follow some of the things they're doing on social media, they've got a unique bond with John Cook. The girls on this team do. And it's easy to see. Now, I'm going to talk more national college football a little bit later on in the show, the last segment. We're going to talk about the spoiled SEC. We're going to talk about the college football playoff and a couple other things. But in the first game, the stat just astounded me. So Gag Me You, the first time they played Georgia this year, averaged 1.1 yards per carry. So their offensive line is up for the Joe Moore Award, which is the award for the top offensive line in the country. All right, the other offensive lines are Army, Oregon, and Gag Me You. The second time, Texas, I'll finally say the name. The second time Texas played Georgia, they were ready to run the ball and be more physical. How many yards per carry do you think they averaged against Georgia on Saturday? Jake? Just take a guess. There's no way you'll get it right.
4.
That was a terrible hint on purpose.
Okay.
1.1. The exact same. I couldn't believe it. But here's the crazy thing. Georgia had -2 rushing yards in the second half. In the first half. So neither team could run the ball. Halftime score was 6-3. Hard-hitting, defensive battle. Some beautiful, some ugly things in here. I call that football, and I thought it was a beautiful game, mostly because Gag Me You didn't win. But here's the deal. Georgia is not a great first-half team. They're actually 4-2 this year when trailing at halftime under Kirby Smart. So that's a couple of things that I thought were fairly interesting there. As far as, I'm going to talk about this more later, so I'll keep this brief. But, Kalen DeBoer, basically, we're going to evaluate how many Power 4 teams we're going to play going forward. By the way, they only play 8 conference games. And they didn't exactly play a murderer's row of non-conference slate. So one fan responded to this and said, what's Bama going to do? Play Mercer twice now? I thought that was pretty funny. All right, let's dive into a little bit more Husker talk. Let's dive into a little bit more transfer portal update. So when it comes to Matt Rhule, all right, this is an individual who, I'm going to read the quote here at the press conference. And I quote, my history has been to be 6-6 in the second year and get to a bowl game. Then in the third year, make a jump, end quote. Now, a little bit later on the press conference, he said, and we're going to make that jump, paraphrasing. But when he said that, I like the confidence. It is what he's done everywhere he's gone. His first year was a little bit different. So does that throw off the whole calibration of year 1 to 2 to 3? Because if you add the amount of wins he had at Temple and Baylor together in year 1, it was 3. We had 5 here. I don't know. Does this all calibrate? I don't know, but we'll see. Because to me, and I've talked about this before, and I'm kind of responding to a lot of people who've texted me when they ask me, and I'm going to do some transfer portal updates here in about 2 minutes. People have asked me, do you trust Matt Rhule? So I'm going to reiterate a couple things I've said and divulge a couple of new things. I trust him as much as any coach we've had for a very long time to leave no stone unturned, to do everything he possibly can, to think outside of the box, to put ego aside, to do what he believes is best for the program, to not, I'm just going to be blunt, to not be arrogant, to not be sensitive, to not be emotional, although it's hard not to get emotions involved when you're passionate, to not get offended, although that's hard, but he's not going to let that influence him on a professional level. I trust him to do those things to the best of his ability as you can reasonably expect from any person. It's tough at Nebraska. fans are passionate. I love it. I freaking love it. When people respond to me on social media, I'd say eight times out of 10, it's positive. 2 times out of 10, maybe not so much. I don't take it personal. It's not like when X and Facebook first started and one bad tweet or post would ruin my entire day. And my wife laughed at me. She thought it was hilarious. But I digress. My point is simply this. Like it's part of having a passionate fan base, because I'd rather have that. And I've referenced this. It's not the only time. You could watch USC, UCLA, their big rivalry game. That stadium was 33% empty. USC versus Penn State, it was 25% empty. Like, I would rather have passionate fans who are selling out, whether it's Timbuktu U or Ohio State coming into Memorial Stadium. With that comes a lot of scrutiny. And that's part of the job. And I believe Matt Rhule is as well suited as any coach we've had in a long time to deal with it. I have confidence in that. Does that equate to wins? I personally, Scott Frost at UCF, wish him nothing but the best. I know some people are like, I want him to do well. Some people are like, well, if he does well, but not here, how's that look for us? You know, it's a bit of a conflict there. I get it. Teach their own. Okay. But to me, when I look at Matt Rhule, what I believe he can do is what he's willing to do, is what a lot of coaches haven't been willing to do, is put all that stuff aside, deal with it, embrace it, and do what's best for the program. But I thought Scott Frost, in front of the microphone, hurt himself several times with things that he said. I really did. I think Rhule is phenomenal in front of the microphone. Every once in a while, I think he's great at misdirection, and I'll point that out. I could be wrong. I could be right. Jake's heard me do it here. Okay. Sometimes Jake agrees and he nods, and other times he disagrees and he still nods, but that's okay. Jake's a good dude. Nice guy. Love working with you every day, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
The 2 things Matt Rhule has said that I was kind of like, I don't know. Number 1, when we're going into year 2 last summer, he said it feels like year 3. I was like, I love that. I don't think it's necessary. You're shortening your own honeymoon period, which is now gone, by the way. When you say we're going to make the year 3 leap, that's phenomenal. I don't know that it needs to be said. Just let others talk about it. But I love his confidence. Now, will this equate to wins? Do I trust Matt Rhule to equate to some wins? I'm actually excited to see what our offense can do. I'm excited to see what we could possibly get out of the transfer portal. And defensively, we have got to get the defensive coordinator hire right. I can't speak to the defense right now. I can't. I need a defensive coordinator. I need a D-line coach. I need a lot of things. Offensively, and I'm going to talk about this in the next segment. And you can bring in the chugs of red Kool-Aid if you'd like for that particular segment, but don't worry, I also talk about the holes and what I have to say then as well. But I'm like above average excited about what our offense could be. And a large part of that has to do with Dana Holgerson, Dylan Raiola, Emma Johnson, Ja'Cory Barney, things of that nature. We got to find someone who can block better, consistently, more often, and the coach has got to get it out of him. That's his job. So for me, do we trust Matt Rhule? Is anybody chiming in on the text line real quick? Because those are kind of my thoughts. I can honestly go on for a long time on this. I trust what he's going to prioritize what's best for the university and the program. I trust he's going to do whatever he thinks it takes. And there are other individuals who've been in a similar position that things got thrown out of whack due to emotions getting in the way. Okay, what is anybody? What are some of the thoughts we're getting here, Jake? And then we'll dive into some transfer portal updates real quick.
Oh yeah, I'd encourage you to go ahead and text in 402-464-5685. Redwine65 says off YouTube, if Rhule can keep the defense at the level the last 2 years it's been, Holgerson can win a lot of these close games. So, different thoughts there on moves that have been made, but yeah, it feels like there's still a lot of faith in Rhule.
So to be clear, I have a lot of faith and a lot of belief in what he's going to do and how he's going to do it. He's also learning. You can see he's learning. The Big Ten is different. Transfer portal is different than when he got here. NIL, everything. The purely developing the high school kid. It's hard. How's that going to work? You find a diamond in the rough. You develop him. He hits the portal, gets more money. He's gone. It's just hard. It's how Nebraska had success. It's how Matt Rhule wants to do it. It's what Husker fans love. It's one of the things I love. It's hard to do it that way. Will what he's going to do equate to exact wins? That's where I got to wait and see. That I cannot put a definitive answer on, partially because I don't know what the hell's going on with the defense yet. But we'll get there in due time. Got to get that defensive coordinator hire right. All right. Any other final thoughts on that, Jake, before I hit the transfer portal here real quick?
Brad from Baldwin said he has to be one of the one. It has to be the one. You can't go through another change. But as we've seen before, that's not necessary too. 0095 says definitely trust the process rules establishing needs a home run hire for DC sooner than later. I will say that as far as my own personal opinion too, is that he did go into the press conference and said he's hired 2 Broyles Award finalists for the top assistant in the nation at defensive coordinator. We're obviously impressed with what he did with Tony White. And I always say you can't get mad if what you hire ends up being what you get. And he's a program builder. And so year 3, there's going to be a lot of pressure on him. But that's what you hired. It takes a few years to get there. Then year 3 is kind of your breakout year. That's why I always thought you couldn't be too upset with the Mike Riley results, because that's kind of what you hired.
It's not kind of what it's exactly what you hired. He was exactly 500 here. He was exactly 500 before he got there. I love it, Jake. Great thoughts. All right, transfer portal update. So here's a couple of thoughts on the transfer portal itself. One Big Ten general manager called it a S show. That's actually what it says. All right, the transfer portal is bringing more unknowns than ever. This will be the first full cycle in which every college football player, from a graduate to a freshman, can transfer within the portal windows without restriction. The transfer portal opens today. The winter transfer portal session closes December 28th. There's going to be, now many college football programs will have a $12+ million budget. Some of them have way more than that. Okay. There's a multi-billion-dollar agreement between the NCAA and former players, okay, and they're working on a House settlement as well. And basically, around July 1st, revenue sharing is expected to happen. It's got to be approved, but it's expected. We know this, but the House settlement also means a change in scholarship numbers from 85 to 105 and the reduction in the roster size from 120 to 105. So 105 players all on scholarship. Okay. There were, I actually thought this number was low. 3,800 FBS players entered the last portal cycle. Now, you got to keep in mind, that's the last portal cycle, not the last calendar year. But still, to me, I still thought that was kind of low. All right. As we go on here, a lot of people had comments, and it was kind of crazy on the transfer portal itself. And they were even granted being anonymous so they could be more honest. But it gets a little crazy if you get into some of those comments. But when you look at the 10 best it is what it is. It's insanity. We got to rein it in. At some point, there's going to be a salary cap. There needs to be contracts. And I'm telling you right now, the powers that be want that in place, because if you don't have it, you just spend more and more and more. And it's a business. They're going to be like, no, let's cap this so we only spend a certain amount. It's coming down the road eventually, just like the AFC NFC model. The SEC's pissed. They only got 3 teams in the playoff. I addressed that in the last segment. Don't worry. All right, here are the top 10 players currently. This first one's not going to thrill you, Jake. With an overall grade of 94, Prince Will Yulin from Nebraska, edge rusher. Wish him the best. I saw he narrowed down his list of schools to 3. It was LSU, Florida State, I want to say Texas A&M. I could be wrong on the third one. All right, Hunter Zambrano, an inside offensive lineman from Illinois State. Dude's a monster, also a grade of 94. Smaller college, so he might be overlooked by some. But this is a dude that can come in and start right away. All right, another inside offensive lineman from Arkansas, Patrick Kutas. All right, I hope I'm saying that name right, with a grade of 93. These guys are like, if you watch them on film, they're physical, they're mean, they're nasty. All right, and we're not going to get all these guys, obviously, but we need to bring in guys like this with experience who can come in and start right away. Most of the guys coming back are young for Nebraska. And if you look at what worked for other schools, Just pick out the school with the cactus on the side of their helmet. It's always looked like a cactus. Does that look like a cactus to you on the side of Indiana's helmet, or is that just me?
Oh, yeah, I can see it.
All right. Looks like a cactus.
Type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be better had we beaten them, but I digress. The point is, Indiana brought in all these smaller school guys with all this experience, guys who were successful. They brought in the number 1 quarterback in the Big Ten from Ohio. And then Curtis Rourke ends up being the most efficient passer in the entire Big Ten conference, slightly ahead of Dylan Gabriel. By the way, is Dylan going to New York for the Heisman ceremony? Do you know?
I don't know. I haven't seen. I don't know if that's official, but he should be.
He needs to be.
Yeah.
The 3 guys that stand out to me, and Cam Ward at Miami should be involved in this. He just got no help from anybody else. He had to Superman it like too many times this year to save that team. Well, him and the refs. But Cam Ward, Dylan Gabriel, it's not just because he's playing for Oregon. I've watched them play multiple times, and obviously Ohio State, Penn State. That dude is the perfect catalyst for that offense. He's so efficient, so decisive, so accurate. He is the perfect point guard for that Oregon offense, which is why they brought him in. Number 4 player, Dane Key. All right, Kentucky wide receiver. 2 of the top 10 players are Kentucky wide receivers in the portal. I'm just saying, if you're a Husker fan, there's been some rumors out there. Let's see what happens. This dude, when people go in the portal and the fans of that team are mad, fans of other teams should smile. When a dude goes in the portal, and Barry Brown's on this list too. I think he's number 8, former Kentucky wide receiver in the portal now. And people who write about the team use the word Kentucky star player enters portal. Fans of other teams should smile. I'm just saying. We'll see what happens. Nick Anderson, wide receiver, Oklahoma. A lot of wide receivers in this top 10. I don't know if we're going to get Nick. He'd be phenomenal. Overall grade of 93. All right. Alabama defensive lineman, Jaheim Otis. We need some guys on the defensive front. You look at our defensive front, we got guys coming back. Hear all sorts of rumors and innuendos, but Riley Van Poppel, Elijah Judy, Cam Lenhart. We need some additional bodies there. So this is a guy who, I don't know if he's interested in Nebraska, but if you're interested in money and instant play time and things of that nature, because he did not play a ton at Alabama, despite being very, very talented, this could be a spot. Another wide receiver out of NC State, KC Concepcion. That's a phenomenal name. Concepcion. That's just fun to say. Micah Hudson, another wide receiver from Texas Tech. I've talked about him actually in the past. Lots of wide receivers. This is part of the reason in the next segment I get a little bit excited, because I'd be shocked if we don't land at least 1, if not 2 of these guys. Okay. All right, there he is, Barry Brown. Number 9. I thought he was number 8. Barry Brown, wide receiver from Kentucky. Number 9. And then James Williams. Wish him nothing but the best. Great number at Nebraska. Just saying, number 90. Phenomenal number. Edge rusher out of Nebraska. So 2 of the top 10 players in the portal right now are former Huskers, defensive players. Jake, I'm just going to ask you, are they going to end up at Florida State?
I think that would be the favorite. I think
a lot of stutter in there.
Yeah. Well, James did come into the studio.
Oh yeah, what did he have to say?
The locker room.
Yeah, what did he say?
Said it sounded like that wasn't as much of a foregone conclusion as maybe the crystal balls have him out there.
He wants to test the waters.
Yeah.
And even if it is where he wants to go, he said Terrence Knighton's like a father figure, so it's a logical place that you think he's going to look at seriously. But even if it is, why in the world would he cap the interest by saying, yeah, I'm going there? Let's enter the portal. Let's see what happens. And even if Florida State is the favorite, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's see what else is out there, my friends. We'll see other offers I get. So I get it. All right. Before we head to break, Jake, any other last questions or anything we should address quick?
There was one question real quick, and I don't know if you have much of it on this, but 6496 says, what's the story on Phil Simpson?
Well, so people expect him to be brought in. That's the expectation, but there's been nothing definitive just yet. To me, it kind of feels like when people expected Terrence Knighton to go, but then he was still here, and then he was on the recruiting day show. That wasn't weird at all. Kind of like if I'm a defensive lineman sitting in that meeting, like, aren't you supposed to be gone, but you're here? Like, I'm staring at you, but you're what? It's such a weird world that we live in. The expectation is he's coming. Nothing's been finalized yet. And 90 seconds goes by and the whole world could change. So you never know. All right. But that is the expectation. We'll see what ultimately happens. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
Make Hog Wild the centerpiece of your holiday meal. Pre-order a 4-pound boneless ham for $50, a 12-pound whole smoked turkey, or a 4-pound turkey breast for $55. A complete meal includes your choice of a whole turkey or turkey breast, mashed potatoes and gravy, stuffing, green beans or corn, and a dozen rolls for $130. Pre-order online at GoHogWild.com soon. Quantities are limited. All weights are approximate before cooking. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Slay the holidays this year with a gift that'll really get them going. One that's built to win, like the new Honda CRF-R Motocrosser. One that's built for fun, like a Honda Mini Moto. Or one for each member of the family, like a Honda CRF Trail Bike. At Rod's Power Sports, you'll find the motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side they'll love during the Honda Gifts That Go sales event. You can slay the streets in style with a Grom Mini Moto, slay the trails with the CRF 50F, or pile into a Pioneer 1006 Deluxe Crew that can carry 6 elves over the fields and through the woods. This year, don't just give any gift. Give the gift of outdoor adventure with a ride they'll never forget. Don't miss out. Head to Rod's Power Sports in Lincoln, Nebraska during the Honda Gifts That Go sales event. It's your chance to slay the holidays and your gift list. Dealer participation may vary. See dealer for complete program and safety details.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
The holiday season is here, and Sartor Heyman is making your shopping easy. Shop our wide selection of necklaces, earrings, or bracelets to our amazing line of watches. Looking for something truly unique? Consider our estate jewelry, or even build your own custom handcrafted piece with our in-house designers. The perfect gift at the perfect price. Christmas memories start with family and Sartor Heyman.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
It happens. All of a sudden, you need a plumber. Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Problem solved with Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
The McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Asheville beat Southampton 1-0, and then Crystal Palace tied Man City 2-2. On Sunday, Fulham tied Arsenal 1 apiece, and then Ipswich Town fell to Bournemouth 2-1. Liverpool remains at the top of the EPL standings with a record of 11-2-1, while Chelsea, Arsenal, and Man City take the next 3 spots. You can catch all these matches and more at the McKinney's Irish Pub, your headquarters in Lincoln for English Premier League soccer at 8.
Experience a cleaner tomorrow with Nieder House Refuse. Whether it's weekly residential pickups, large-scale commercial disposals, recycling, or roll-off, Nieder House's team is here with reliable, efficient service and the most advanced solutions. Discover the difference that a committed and experienced waste management company can make. Nieder House Refuse has been in business for over 100 years and is family-owned and operated since 1921. Call Nieder House Refuse at 402-475-8361 and visit their website at nbrefuselincoln.com to learn more or sign up for your service today.
On the farm from dawn till dusk, hardworking hands tend to the land, equipment, and the animals. But your hard work deserves a little relaxation too. Visit the Nebraska Ag Expo, December 10th through the 12th at Sandhills Global Event Center in Lincoln. See all the latest ag innovations in livestock and equipment, precision ag, drone, and AI tech, crop inputs, grain storage, and more. Take a break from the daily grind and recharge at the Nebraska Ag Expo. You deserve it. Sponsored in part by Farm Credit Services of America and Ag Direct.
If you're sick of catering from the same places every month, it's time to switch things up. Mulberry Barbecue is perfect for business lunches and dinners, family gatherings, holiday parties, wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, and so much more. Delivery and full service options are available, and they can cater for anything from 10 people to 500 people. Call them at 402-937-7114 to look at their menu options and get your catering booked today. Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. We do have a bit of a problem here. Is that Adam Carriker did pre-record 2 segments to get going here to finalize the show. Having a little bit of a problem getting the audio on this. So I'm going to take a quick, just a few commercials, try to figure this out, and we will be right back here on 93.7 The Ticket.
The Huskers are headed to the Pinstripe Bowl. Cheer on the Huskers in New York City on the official Husker Pinstripe Bowl tour offered by the Nebraska Alumni Association. Your bowl package includes a 2-night hotel stay, round-trip transportation on game day, pregame events, and more. Spots are limited, so book your spot now on the official Husker Pinstripe Bowl tour with the Nebraska Alumni Association. Go to huskerfantravel.com or call 888-831-0858. That's 888-831-0858 or huskerfantravel.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and
Gentlemen, segment
for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, segment 2 of the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket is sponsored by our good friends at Mulberry Barbecue at 11th and Cornhusker. They're open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try their burn-in sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, a full slab of ribs, half-smoked chicken, and much, much more. Plus incredible size. Get fueled for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel, located at 11th and Cornhusker. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been at least 90 seconds since I checked the wire here to see what news is going on. So it's been a dull 90 seconds. But at the risk of maybe not being completely up to date on a couple of things, here's what we know. They can always keep me up to date as we're going along. And I'm projecting a little bit here. All right, right now, here's what we know. We got Dana Holgerson as our offensive coordinator. D. Shorts as our wide receivers coach. Those are the absolute knowns right now on offense. I'm sure we'll retain some more coaches on offense. But for now, that's all we know 100% for sure. Matt Rhule's our head coach. I should add that. But that's really it for sure. I would assume John Butler's going to be back in some way, shape, or form on defense. But let's focus on offense right now. We know we have Dylan Rhule. We know we have Heinrich Haarberg, TJ Lateef, Okay. At the running back spot, Emmett Johnson, Dante Dowdell, Quentin Ives. I'm not going to go through every freshman that's coming in, but we got 2 freshman running backs that are coming in. I'm not going to go through every single person on this roster. At the wide receiver spot, we know we got Ja'Cory Barney, Jalen Lloyd. So we got a talented quarterback. We've got a really talented running back, a guy who's going to be our number 1 running back as long as he continues to earn it throughout the offseason, as he's done for a couple of years, I might add, at least the last season and a half, once he got an opportunity the last 6 games in his first year as a freshman due to injury, and the last 3 games due to a new OC. This past season, Emmett Johnson, and then a great power back, all right, with deceptive explosive speed right out the gate, all right. Increase that top end speed over time. That would be quite helpful to Dante. But a great 1-2 punch at running back with other running backs right there as well. At the receiver spot, Ja'Cory Barney, like I said, he may be a future Tavon Austin. All right, Jalen Lloyd, speedster. How consistent can he be blocking? How consistent can he be route running? Things of that nature. Also, either one of those guys can return kicks potentially. Now, I am projecting. Okay. And there's a chance. I don't know anything at this point in time. But D Shorts, obviously, connections to Barry and Brown, Dane Key. And when you look up what Kentucky writers had to say when these 2 entered the transfer portal, they basically talk about they're the number 1 receiver was Dane Key on Kentucky's team. They called Barry and Brown a Kentucky star, and they called them major losses. And they were not happy when these people entered the portal. So if we could get them to come here potentially, that'd be exciting. Barry and Brown, Dane Key, Ja'Cory Barney, Jalen Lloyd, potentially. Got to use that P word. Maybe Jordan Dingle comes as a tight end. I know he's not quite as highly recognized, if you will, but we need some competition in that tight end room. Thomas Fedoni, Luke Lindenmeyer, Nate Borkashire, Jordan Dingle. We need some competition in there. And we need someone who's going to be a great blocker, at least in the effort department. I'm not saying they weren't trying to give good effort last year, but you need consistency blocking and someone who can make a play with the ball in their hands, especially in this Dana Holgorsen air raid offense. All right. Dana has his wide receivers coach in D Shorts. That's what Brandon Riley called him. He was his former roommate. I interviewed Brandon last week, former Husker. Him and D Shorts, as he called him, Dykell Shorts, were roommates, undrafted wide receivers together for their first year in the NFL at the Buffalo Bills. So I've dubbed him D Shorts going forward here on this fine program. Has a lot of connections. Again, we'll see what happens. But think about this. Potentially at the quarterback spot, Dylan Raiola, Heinrich Haarberg, great 1-2 punch. And I'm curious to see what they do with Haarberg. And they're going to move him around. They're going to give him options at other spots. He has the best top end speed of anybody on this team at 230 pounds. The fastest recorded top-end speed of anybody on this team at 230 pounds. I've heard him called, and I quote, a freak athlete, end quote. What are they going to do with him? And now there's other spots that are wide open where they can utilize him. But you look at the running back spot, Emmett Johnson, Dante Dowdell, Ja'Cory Barney, Jalen Lloyd. Let's say we get one, Dane Key or Barry and Brown, or by God, both. Okay, just live in my fantasy world. It's Christmas time right now. Let's say we get Jordan Dingle. Or let's say we get 2 of those 3, the 2 wide receivers, and we bring in some competition in the tight end room. Off-season Kool-Aid, ladies and gentlemen. My favorite color is red. It's hard not to get excited. The defense right now, I don't know what the hell to make of it. I don't know who our defensive coordinator is going to be. We got to bring in like 84 guys, okay, and yet stay under the 105 roster limit. So now you know why I'm not a math major. But my point is simply this. At the skill position on offense, with Dylan distributing the ball, with Dana calling the plays, with guys being put in appropriate spots, it's hard not to get excited, regardless of who comes in through the transfer portal. But even just some of the guys I've mentioned, and some of the guys I haven't mentioned that you hear rumors about, that are explosive and fun to watch, fun to hear about, it's hard not to get excited. Let the off-season, in-season, because we're going to a bowl game this year, Kool-Aid float. My favorite color is red. Hey, we are 10-time off-season national champs, defending and going forward. Got to defend our title. So that's hard not to get excited about. I will say this. We have got to address the offensive line. Gunnar Gatula is going to be back. We got a couple of guards with a lot of experience. Justin Evans-Jenkins, maybe he goes to center. Henry Letowski. Henry wasn't supposed to start last year. Remember, it was supposed to be Micah Mazuka. I've been told the most NFL-ready offensive lineman on that team could not start because they couldn't trust him. He wouldn't listen. So Letowski, big, strong dude. One of the strongest dudes on the team. Maybe the strongest lineman. Played a lot. A little bit before they had planned on him playing. But he'll be back. Justin Evans-Jenkins, Gunnar Gatula,
Okay, but we've got to solve our tackle issues. We got to be able to protect the quarterback. We got to bring in some offensive linemen. We got to bring in guys to compete at that starting guard spot. We got to bring in a center if Justin Evans-Jenkins doesn't go to center. We've had an inconsistent play at right tackle for darn near half a decade. We got to address all these things. Just have an adequate offensive line. Okay? We need Donovan Rhule to get more play out of these guys. And then his nephew will have more time to throw to some potential exciting weapons. So here's the rib, ladies and gentlemen. Dare I say Nebraska might have an explosive offense next year? Do you remember the Wisconsin game? Wisconsin was not great as a team. Their defense was pretty good, though. Dare I say we might have an explosive offense next year? Maybe we flip. Maybe instead of relying on the defense and trying not to throw up while we watch the offense, maybe we have like games that are like 50-48. I know I just predicted a one-score game with Nebraska involved. That's not great. But my point is, we've got to nail the defensive coordinator hire because it would sure be nice to be balanced offense and defense-wise for a change. Hasn't happened in so long. In so freaking long. But just looking at the potential in the offensive skill positions, knowing we got to address the O-line and we got big-time things to address on defense, just look at the offensive skill positions. Am I crazy to think that Nebraska might have an explosive offense that can legit put up points? Dana Holgerson's offense is his 6 years as an OC. For the 50,000th time, here it is. His offense is average, number 2 in the country. Number 2 in the country. Number 2 in the country, passing-wise. Number 3 total offense, average in the country, total yards per game, and number 6 in scoring in the country, his 6 years as an OC. We'll see what happens. Guys should sure want to come play for a guy like Dana Holgerson with a guy like Dylan Rhule. I'll tell you what. Now, if you want me to balance it out, I have no faith in what's going to happen on the defense because I don't know what the hell's going to happen there. Now I balanced it out, so now you can feel better about things. Also, the O-line's got to be addressed and special teams, my God. But I am starting to allow myself hope, which is a dangerous thing to do when it comes to Nebraska's offensive skill positions. All right, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, I'm going to offer my thoughts on the college football playoff and why I don't feel sorry at all for Alabama. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT, from cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam.
All of a sudden, you need a plumber. Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Problem solved with Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Kawasaki dealership. Score big on Kawasaki's all-new Ridge lineup. The Ridge XR, Ridge HVAC, and the Ridge Limited, all built to take on your day with a full factory cab, including heat and AC. Stop by Indian Motorcycle of Lincoln today and rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of December. Save big on their massive selection of side-by-sides, all-terrain vehicles, motorcycles, and power watercraft on end-of-the-year specials store-wide at their new 27th and I-80 location.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Patriot Plumbing at 402-464-7411 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-464-7411.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket, the show that gives you unique insights, unbridled honesty, and producer Jake and I have a whole lot of fun in the process. All right. Nebraska, the bowl game. Now, the large part of this segment is going to be about the college football playoff and the whiny SEC people that are out there. But if you haven't heard, and I've mentioned it before, mentioned it on the Carriker Chronicles a couple of times, but this will be Nebraska's return trip to the Big Apple. They went to 1962 to the Gotham Bowl. All right, our third ever bowl game, our first ever bowl win. The only time we've ever gotten to play Miami in a bowl game in cold weather. They beat Miami 36-34 in the 1962 Gotham Bowl. It's interesting because in the south end zone, where the varsity locker room used to be, and there used to be the red shirts in the north end, and then everything moved to the north end, and the visitors came out of the south end, and now none of that matters to us because there's a whole new, brand new facility and everything else. It's absolutely phenomenal. But for those of us who got to experience said times, I would walk down the hallway, and they had like basically every single year for Nebraska football, especially when I was a freshman. I used to look at these. They'd have the entire schedule up on the wall, kind of like hard outlined, memorialized, the wins, the losses, the games, the bowl games, who they played. And I remember looking at the Gotham Bowl in 1962 being like, what the? I had no idea we played in that. A little bit before my time. I haven't talked about that bowl game so much in my life, ever. But I haven't thought about that bowl game so much in my life since I looked at it back when I was a freshman walking up and down the hallways of the south end zone, which is now where the visitors come and go before they enter and leave the field. All right. So a couple of things. General college football. I almost feel bad for Kirk Herbstreit. He seems like a good dude. And I'm going to talk about him again here in a minute. But he got crucified by Florida State fans last year. You can feel it was justified, unjustified. And I'm sure he's happy, but he had to know the backlash was coming to this. His son, right? His son Chase Herbstreit, who is a quarterback. By the way, Kirk Herbstreit went to Ohio State, the Ohio State University. Just committed to the University of Michigan. And he has to know the backlash is coming. And I'm sure he's gotten a ton of it. Man, it's tough when you're a parent and your kid does not go to your alma mater, but to go to the ultimate rival, oh, that's tough. I almost feel bad for Kirk. He seems like a good dude. All right, let's proceed. James Franklin, Penn State, lose to Oregon, but get the easier route to the playoff, to the national championship. But I'll get to that in a minute. James Franklin is now 3-19 versus top 10 opponents. All right, Ohio State is 2-13 versus the SEC in bowl games, the worst record in college football history against the SEC. Ryan Day is 0-3 versus the SEC. So guess who Ohio State plays in the first round? Tennessee, in Columbus. But guess what conference they're from? That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the good old SEC. Now, SEC. Now, Army. Just think about this. Army's only loss is to Notre Dame Army won a conference championship. By the way, their first ever conference title in history. They've been an independent for so long. Although they have been a part of Conference USA, even the MAC at one point. Okay, but they just won the AAC championship. They will not play in the college football playoff. Now, the issue with this, and this was sent to me by a buddy, but I thought it was interesting. Notre Dame's only loss is to Northern Illinois. Army's only loss is to Notre Dame. So they lost the head-to-head, but their loss was, Northern Illinois, I can't get over that. Because Notre Dame didn't just lose. They got outgained, outrushed, outplayed, and flat out beat by a middling MAC team on their home field. Just can't get over that. Notre Dame's 11-1, didn't win a conference title. Now, we'll leave out the fact that they're not in a conference. We're just going to ignore that for time's sake. Did Army somehow get hosed here? It would have helped had they not gotten ran off the field by Notre Dame. I just kind of wanted to bring this up, talk about Army winning their first ever conference title and Notre Dame losing to Northern Illinois. But I digress. All right. Texas loses to Georgia. Texas had 234 yards of total offense at halftime. Georgia had 47. And yet they lose the game. So how does something like that happen? They had the ball for almost 21 minutes. Georgia had it for 9. The score was 6-3 at halftime. Only 6-3. Texas had the lead. In their two contests, Texas versus Georgia, Georgia had a combined 13 sacks, 7 sacks in the first game, 6 in this last one, 25 freaking tackles for loss. Are you kidding me? 10 in the first game, 15 this last game. Texas had a combined 6 turnovers between the two games, 2 missed field goals. All right, so that's how you lose a game like that, 22-19 in overtime with a backup quarterback who was a former 5-star recruit, because, Georgia just has those on the shelves, but comes in and leads Georgia to victory. Although at the end of the game, Carson Beck came back in with an arm. If I'm Texas, I'm blitzing 11 guys. You could see him coming on the field. He couldn't move the arm, his right arm, his throwing arm. Like he was going to hand the ball off. I would have blitzed all 11 guys. Old school video game style, the all mad blitz or whatever, where you bring everybody. I think you can blitz 8, but then 3 guys drop deep into zone. So I'd always take the free safety and make him the 9th blitzer up the middle. Like I would have done something like that. Just saying. Georgia beats Texas twice this year. All right. And as we know, Oregon State beats Penn State. Now, here are the matchups. All right. For the college football playoff, the first round. Texas is going to host Clemson because, 3-and-loss teams don't get in this playoff. And I'm not advocating for Alabama or Ole Miss or South Carolina to get in because they all have 3 losses. But 3-loss teams don't get in unless you play in a god-awful ACC conference. You rear-end your way into the conference title game after you lose to your in-state rival South Carolina, who's, by the way, ranked ahead of you in the rankings, and they should be because they beat you on your home field with the same record. And then you go ahead and you beat a team that just joined the Power Conference for the first time since the 80s when the old Southwest Conference existed, and that's SMU. So somehow Clemson is in this with 3 losses because they won the frickin' ACC, but they're going to play Texas. At least it's 2 intriguing brands. I don't know how good the game will be, but we'll see. Penn State hosts said SMU team, which, by the way, gets the 11th seed over the team they just lost to, Clemson, the 12th seed, because they have a better record, even though they've only played 2 ranked teams the whole year, and they lost to both of them in BYU and Clemson. I actually like SMU a lot. I think SMU was shell-shocked when they fell behind by 17 points. They hadn't played in a game like that in a long time, a game with that type of meaning and things on the line. I think they were shell-shocked, and I think they finally woke up. Their offensive line is also not that great, if you watch that game. Penn State's going to host SMU. It's supposed to be below freezing up in Happy Valley. I can't wait. All right, Indiana, Notre Dame. This is low-key a rivalry game. In-state rivals. This is low-key one of the games I'm most excited about. Notre Dame hosting Indiana. Indiana's Cinderella story of the year. Notre Dame always gets to have their cake and eat it too. The most storied program and probably in the history of college football. Although they haven't won a national title since 1988. Should have won it in 1993. They had the same exact record. Okay, 12-1 is Florida State. Beat Florida State head-to-head, yet Florida State was number 1 and they were number 2, although Nebraska could have beat Florida State. Topic for another day. Ohio State hosts Tennessee, which I've already addressed. Ohio State is so excited about. They love playing SEC teams. Ryan Day loves playing top 10 teams. Basically, he loves playing anybody who's not Michigan. The fact that Michigan is not in the playoff means Ohio State's got to be the favorite. I stole that from Mitch Sherman. He tweeted that out. So those are your first-round matchups. Okay, and I think they're actually pretty intriguing. Now, let's just go chalk here. Let's say 5, Texas beats 12 Clemson, Penn State over SMU, 7, Notre Dame beats 10 Indiana, 8, Ohio State beats Tennessee, number 9. Let's just go chalk. Let's say even Tennessee upsets Ohio State. One upset there. Oregon is going to play the winner of Ohio State, Tennessee. Meanwhile, Penn State gets SMU in the first round, and then in the second round they get Boise. They're going to be double-digit favorites in both those games. So even though Oregon gets the bye, I would personally choose playing SMU and Boise over playing Ohio State again or Tennessee, who will have just beaten Ohio State in Columbus if that happens. So somehow you're the number 1 team in the country. You beat Penn State at the Big Ten championship game, and your reward is probably the hardest second-round matchup of any team that'll be in the second round. Okay? That is crazy to me. All right, Arizona State's going to play Texas versus Clemson. They should not have a bye to begin with. Great Big 12 championship game. Love Cam Scatterboot. Don't whine about nothing. Boise State, why are you? You should be in. I think you should actually play in the first round, get maybe a home field advantage because you did win a conference. It's not the same type of conference, but you shouldn't have a bye. And then you look at Georgia. All right, Georgia's going to play the winner of Notre Dame, Indiana. So for me, by the way, if Georgia played Notre Dame, that'd be intriguing. If Indiana goes into South Bend and beats Notre Dame and then goes to play Georgia, that's quite intriguing on a New Year's Day bowl game. And the Sugar Bowl is where that matchup will be, by the way. Okay, Oregon will play either Ohio State or Tennessee in the Rose Bowl. The first round buys make no sense for teams like Boise and Arizona State. They should be in for winning conference titles. But a first round buy is insane. The fact that Penn State will play SMU, and if they win Boise State, whereas Oregon would have to play either Ohio State or Tennessee. So basically, Penn State almost got rewarded for losing. Oregon almost got punished for winning. It's crazy to me. Those are just my initial thoughts. We're going to talk a lot more about the Heisman as the week goes along. It's Ashton Genty or Travis Hunter, and it's 2 guys that in just about any other year, either one of them would win it. Okay? They just happen to be in the same year. And we'll talk about that as this week goes along. We're also going to talk much more college football playoff matchups, things of this nature. Obviously, a lot of Nebraska football. Okay. Got about 2 minutes here, but I'm kind of tired of the SEC whining. So there was an individual who put out a tweet, and he listed all of the NFL talent. And if NFL scouts could tell you the most talented teams and the best team in the country, it'd be like Alabama, Ole Miss, all these teams. Georgia's in. Sean Callahan responded, but wait. They already play one less league game in the Big Ten, and the Big 12, then the Big 10 and the Big 12. Give Clemson credit, who only plays 8 league games in the ACC. They played 8 league games and then played Georgia and South Carolina. USC played 9 league games and then LSU and Notre Dame. Alabama played 8 league games. Then you want to know who they played in their non-conference? They played Mercer, South Florida, Western Kentucky, wow. So basically, they had 2 bye weeks, like every team did in the country this year. And then Mercer became their 3rd bye week at the end of the year. And then they also lost. So really, what Alabama fans want to focus on is look at who we beat. Oh man, we beat LSU, we beat Georgia. Well, how about the teams you didn't play? I'm going to talk about that in a second. How about the teams you lost to? You lost to an unranked Vanderbilt. You lost to an unranked Oklahoma team, 24-3. You got curb stomped and mollywopped. Like, good Lord. And you played nobody in your non-conference, and every team in the SEC gets an automatic extra win because instead of that 9th conference game, you're scheduling Mercer. So it's an automatic extra win, so you already have a better looking resume because you get that extra win that other conferences don't. All right. I had another thought here. That was the gist of it. The bottom line is the SEC created this super conference, which gives them advantages in money because you can get better matchups, you get bigger TV revenue. So you have bigger budgets. All right, better matchups, super conferences, more money, advantages in recruiting. By the way, and I'll give this to the SEC, of the top 100 recruits in the country, they signed 58 of them to the SEC conference. That's more than the other 3 Power 4 conferences combined. I don't care. If you're going to conglomerate into this super conference and then you're going to beat each other up, guess what? You don't get to play 8 conference games, play nobody in your non-conference, and then lose a quarter of your games and still get in. I don't want to hear it. It's that simple. See if I got any other final thoughts here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Kirk Herbstreit on this year's college football playoff, and we'll get out of here. And I quote, I think everybody gets a trophy. Everybody gets in. I don't want no death threats for a year like I got from Florida State fans last year, end quote. Kirk, I feel for you, man. I feel for you. You seem like a good dude. Paul Feinbaum, remember when he threw a hissy fit when Matt Rhule said the Big Ten would have 4 playoff teams? Fast forward to now, and the Big Ten has 4 playoff teams, and the SEC has 3. So, yeah, there you go. All right, the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. Whoever thought that would be a bowl game? Is a one-of-a-kind for multiple ways. It's the first alcohol sponsorship on a bowl game. Feel about that however you'd like. The first bowl game that has NIL. Players will get paid to participate. I've been saying, why not? You want players to play? They need to sign contracts for the regular season. The bowl game should be separate. And then if they don't play, they don't get paid what they would have been paid. And whatever they would have been paid, they get fined. So let's say you're a quarterback, you would have been paid $100,000 to play in a bowl game. Just pulling numbers out of my keister. So you opt out. Now you don't get that $100,000. Now you get fined $100,000. Now you're in the negative $200,000 from what you could have been had you played. I'm just saying. All right, until next time, Husker Nation, it's been real. Go Big Red. Enjoy the insanity and the holidays, and always remember to throw the bug.